Hi, welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. I'm your host, Brian Koval. Before we get started, make sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. If you want to see me play your favorite deck or your spicy brew on the channel, I take donation deck lists. I'll do a deck tech, play a full Magic Online League, and help tune your list. If that sounds good, check out my contact info. It's in the video description below. Now let's go play some Magic.
Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I have something special. This is the result of a Legacy Brew contest sponsored by trophy leader Negator77, that's Tom Hepp. Tom has been on an absolute tear, racking up over 50 Legacy League trophies this season, and to share the wealth, he wanted to donate some incentives, some fun money, like something to legacy content creators. And what he and I worked out is that he would sponsor a donation decklist brew contest that I've been running on Twitter and Reddit for the last 2 weeks or so. And the results are in. And the winner is Aminatou Miracles. Aminatou Yorion Miracles, let me be more specific. So, what's going on here? Aminatou, the Fate Shifter. Draw a card, put a card from your hand on top of your library. So the plus is some minor card selection. And I shouldn't need to tell you that Miracles, the top of the library, is kind of as good as in the hand. We have Terminus, Entreat the Angels, and Counterbalance here. So the top of the deck is not a bad place to have a card. -1, exile another target permanent you own, then return it to the battlefield under your control. So this is a blink strategy. So what are we blinking? We got Omen of the Sea to draw cards, Trial of Ambition to destroy creatures, Reality Acid to destroy permanents. We can reset a Detention Sphere on something else. We can become the Monarch again if we lose it. And I guess, and draw a card off Astrolabe. We could even reset the loyalty counters on Teferi. So a lot of fun things to blink here. And the -6 is choose right or left. Each player gains control of all non-land permanents other than Aminatou, the Fate Shifter, controlled by the next player in the chosen direction. So basically the combo here is that we don't really care about most of our permanents once they get given to someone else. Like, we're not going to get beat down by an Omen of the Sea. Also, Aminatou, exile another target permanent you own. You don't have to control it, so you shift your permanents over to the opponent, then you blink them and you get them back. So that's another part of the combo. Also, Yorion likes blinking. So Yorion on the fair value side can just blink all these permanents again. And on the crazy combo side, I don't know how often this is actually going to come up, but you can cast Yorion, exile all your other permanents, shift with Aminatou, so your opponent basically gets Yorion and nothing else. Then in your end step, all of your permanents are going to come back, and you have all their permanents and all your permanents except for Yorion. So that's pretty powerful stuff. I hope we pull it off. Looking at this deck, I would like a Supreme Verdict in it somewhere. That's just a card I want in my blue-white decks, period. I'll probably replace... I was going to say Detention Sphere, but this deck does need answers to Oko in it. So maybe I'll just leave it as is. I will trust the designer, though I do generally like... I guess with all these trial ambitions and plows, like, we're managing creatures in a different kind of way. So, okay, I'm going to play it as is. The sideboard is a pretty robust Enlightened Tutor package. So there's 4 Enlightened Tutors in the sideboard, and then 2 Path to Exiles to supplement your Swords to Plowshares. Then it's Artifacts and Enchantments. Sorceress, Spyglass, Torpor Orb, Engineered Plague, Back to Basics, Moat, Stony Silence, Rest in Peace. And it's kind of smart to combo an e-tutor package with the 80 card Yorion deck, because you get to play most of these as one-ofs, but you actually have like virtually 5 copies. So that's pretty cool. And let's see how it goes. And I don't have a whole lot to say beyond what's going on here. This is ultimately a prison deck, and let's hope to prison people out. I would really like to go off with Reality Acid at least once in this league. That's my main goal. I want a Reality Acid, and I want to shift permanence under Yorion. Those are my two goals for the league. So let's go play it. Let's see what we can do. See if we can do this awesome deck justice. All right, we're on the play in round 1, and I've easily kept this hand that has turn 2 counterbalance into turn 3 Aminatou. All right, my opponent said they like my videos. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so it's a little awkward that I have to play around Wasteland, or else I could curve this really nicely, but I do want to leave up Swords to Plowshares. I should check how many of each non-basic land are in the deck. I know how many basics because I put them in, but alright, so there's 3 Tundra, 2 Underground Sea in this deck. Okay. Astrolabe is a bit of a reprieve. Unless this is Pokepile, they probably don't have Wastelands. I can still fetch a basic here, just in case. Basic Island, then I play Underground Sea, and then next turn I can Tundra. Let's see what they feel about Counterbalance. Alright, Counterbalance is in. They have one of their own. Ooh, Sylvan Library. Oh, I hope this gets countered. Mystic Sanctuary on top. Alright, Sylvan Library's in. Let's see if Sylvan Library is better than Aminatou. Please resolve. I need you. They're thinking really hard about this card. They're reading all of the words to see if it matters. Come on, just resolve. Alright, cool. Now I get to plus and set up my counterbalance a little bit. So, do I think they're going to cast 1-drops or 2-drops more likely this turn? 2-drops could be like Abrupt Decay, which I can't counter anyway. They already resolved Sylvan Library. I guess I'll put the 1 on top. That'll stop any cantripping shenanigans or astrolabes. This library's a huge beating, though. So Aminatou really doesn't do a whole lot for your card selection. Like, I'm basically drawing the same card every turn that I would be. I'm just getting access to them in a different order. Like, this is not even like half of a brainstorm, it's just the 1. Alright, you get out of here. Alright, Counterbalance did something, which is more than it normally does. This time I can use Aminatou to shuffle something away that I don't want. Okay, so I don't need this swamp necessarily. Then I can shuffle the swamp away, cast the Astrolabe. I think they're not going to have Back to Basics or Wasteland. I think this is just regular old snow. So, double white cards. There's no double blue cards except for the forces. There's no double black. Entreat the Angels is double white, so I guess I should get Tundra. Though I'm about to cast Astrolabe, so maybe that didn't matter at all. Right, Ponder, great draw. Now I can set up Counterbalance a little bit. I can leave the 2 on top. Like, I think 1 is better than 2 to leave on top, but getting through all these cards is pretty important. Okay, I'm just gonna draw and play the Astrolabe. Leaving the 2 on top. Like I said, 1's more likely to matter, but didn't have that luxury. So pretty soon, like if no active plays reveal themselves, Yorion coming into hand could happen anytime. So there's Oko. That's bad news. I do not have a 3 on top. Alright, so Oko comes in. Let's see if they elk right away. They do elk right away. I want to plow this. Because I can answer it with the trial anyway, and if this baits any sort of interaction, that will be worth it. Alright, counterspell, and there is a 2 on top. Boom. Counterbalance actually countering spells this game. It usually doesn't. It's usually pretty bad. So let's see, do they also want to force this? But now they've seen the trial of ambition. Even if they force this, they know they're losing their elk and they're not really pressuring Aminatou. That was a sick counterbalance, actually. So far this game, just with the small amount of setting up that Aminatou has provided, we countered an Astrolabe, which would have drawn a card. So that's 2, and then the counterspell is 3. So it's gotten 3 cards. So more worth it than normal. Significantly better than normal, actually. So I think I can just blink Astrolabe with Aminatou, or I can Mystic Sanctuary this Ponder on top of the deck and plus. I think that's better. That sees more stuff, higher velocity. I'm gonna put one of these trials, or no, I can put the island on top because I've already made a land drop. Might as well tap the non-basic island just in case they have something that punishes. Omen of the Sea. I like that. Then I think I should Omen here. The other alternative was wishing for Yorion, but I'm not ready for that yet. Bottom both of those, mostly to clear the top of the deck. Alright, so there are no artifacts or creatures in play right now, so Oko is not going to be able to pressure Aminatou. They can bring back Uro this turn. I have several Trial of Ambitions. Show me the money. Counterbalance on top. Alright, no 2s allowed this turn. I'm a mana short of scrying 2 with Omen of the Sea, which is another combo. Let's see, is Uro coming up, or are they respecting the trial? They don't seem to have black mana, which is good because Abrupt Decay is pretty much the scariest thing. Alright, not gonna show them the two drop again. No reason to. Uro plus Sylvan Library is such a messed up combo. Uro really brought Sylvan Library from the brink of obscurity. Making sure this doesn't have flash. It doesn't. Confirmed. Alright, so trial. Let's put the opponent on trial. They don't know about the second one. Reveal Teferi. Alright, revealed Preordain. Alright, and surprise. Had a backup. Do you have a backup? If you do, I probably lose. Okay, cool. Alright, that's in. Got rid of the Uro. So I could shift my permanents and take their Sylvan Library and their Oko. But they also get counterbalance. I'm not sure who's favored in that versus just drawing an extra card off Omen of the Sea right now. That's really interesting. Exile any number of permanents you own and control. Okay, so that can't steal back. Like, I can't bounce my stuff over there. I think I would rather flicker Omen of the Sea and cast my free Preordain here, which is, I know I'm drawing another Preordain. So I think I want to top these cards. This Brainstorm gives me some play with the counterbalance in play. I've left a 1 on top. I want to work towards this Yorion now. If I can blink these permanents, I draw 3 cards, scry 2, destroy their creature. Yeah, so they get some pressure here. They can't bring back Uro right now. I don't have a 3 I'm aware of, so I'm gonna save the Brainstorm. Alright, so they just put Force of Negation on top of the deck. I can counter this Ponder. Counterbalance has been good for 4 cards. 5 if you count the card Ponder would have drawn. Pretty solid all around here. Let's see. Force of Negation is on top of the deck, so if I want to do anything, I should do it soon. I can top plus Aminatou to get the sword. Like, I can Mystic Sanctuary Swords to Plowshares back, and then plus Aminatou to cast the Plow, which buys me another turn with Aminatou in play before this Force of Negation comes up. Right, so top, and Swords to Plowshares on top, and there's a Force of Will under it. So I can also just blink Trial of Ambition, but then I lose Aminatou to a Ice Fang Coatl. Alright, I'm gonna go with I'm gonna put Counterbalance on top. That'll counter an Ice Fang Coatl if necessary. And then I guess I wanna plow this thing. So they'll also stop Counterspell. I want to do this now so I know if I can afford to put Yorion in hand. Yes. Alright, counterbalance has been great this game. So dancing around all their business. And if they force of will, I can brainstorm and put force on top. So put terminus and force on top in that order. Boom. Sylvan Library versus Counterbalance, dual decks. Put Yorion in hand. The Force of Negation they just wished for does not do a whole lot against Yorion, though the Sylvan Library continues to perform. They can bring back Uro this turn. I have Terminus underneath, Force of Will. I'm not sure if Terminus is super helpful here. Oh, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna Aminatou to put Force back on top of my deck. And then I'm gonna cast Yorion, make sure it resolves with the Force of Will and plus Counterbalance. Alright, so draw the card. I'm gonna draw Terminus here. Put Force of Will on top. And then Caca. Alright, and he is just in. So bounce Astrolabe, Trial, and Omen. Aminatou comes in on 3, and she's at 4, so she's better to leave and play at that particular loyalty. Alright, so I get... Uh-oh. They have Swords to Plowshares. My top card is Force of Will. Okay. So no, I'm not going to do that. That's gone. You got me. Bye, Yorion. I love you. So I want to scry before I do any of these draws. The trial doesn't matter what order it happens in. So get rid of Uro, please and thank you. Scry 2. Spell Pierce is not useful anymore. Draw Force. Draw Plow. Draw Astrolabe. Not bad. Even found the Plow to mess with this food token, the future elk. They're going to elk this up. I know that Force of Negation is still in their hand. I guess I don't necessarily know that, but it's pretty likely. I don't even think there are 4-drops in this deck. There is 1 Court of Grace. So I guess you play to your outs, right? Flooded Strand is on top. That doesn't help me. So I will force pitching, counterbalance. They did not leave up double blue to cast Force of Negation. Alright, they had their own Force of Will though. Okay, so Jace is gonna resolve. We're gonna have to work through that. They are at 5 life. If only I had any way at all to apply pressure to their life total. That's dangerous. Can't counter it. Don't have the mana to scry with Omen of the Sea. There's my plow. Oh, they had another Force of Will. Okay. Force of Will, pitching Force of Negation. Alright, yeah, they are really trying to get this Aminatou dead. Alright, Astrolabe first. Omen. Ponder and Preordain. Top. Ponder. I'll shuffle away the Ponder, cast the Preordain. Not bad. Top. Trial you. And plus Aminatou. And put Terminus on top. And now we're up against this Jace, which is not much better than Sylvan Library. Uro is still a problem. Yorion's already spent. It's long gone. How do I win this game now? I guess I have to make Court of Grace or Angels. Even if I get ahead on time, because this like Snoko versus Yorion Aminatou matchup, the clock is going to matter a lot. I'm at 1350 right now. They're at 1450. We have basically infinite mana. Oh god, do they have Court of Grace of their own? Okay. That's funny, because I could have revealed the Terminus from the top of my deck to counter that, but I don't want them to know what I've got. So definitely want to blink a Omen of the Sea here. Oh, backup Aminatou is cool. I'm actually gonna top this, because this can hardcast Force of Will. I've also floated a 3-drop when they clearly set up an Uro turn. Alright, finally losing Aminatou. I've got another. This is the first turn of the whole game they can't draw an extra card off Sylvan Library, though. Right, let's see if they're fate sealing me. Bummer. I guess I'm supposed to let them fate seal me and then shuffle. That was loose. Now they'll just let me keep the card. Played real bad there. I can still scry with Omen of the Sea. Nine mana, no big deal. They know what's on top of my deck, but I don't. So Plains is on top. Alright. They knew that Ponder was good. Now they're going to go for the Uro, probably. And then I scry in response, maybe twice. I can afford to scry and still hardcast force. Nice. Don't need to hardcast force. Yeah, I'm still in trouble to this board. But I have Terminus that can mop up the creatures at least. Still dead to the Jace. This is pretty far from ideal. So they cast Force of Negation. I'll try to reveal off Counterbalance first. Didn't hit. Force of Negation, your Force of Negation. They know I have a 1 on top. We all know I have a 1 on top. Okay. Immediate pressure's off, but still dying to this Jace. I need basically Detention Sphere to answer Jace. Plus this Oko has just been in play since turn 3. Not having red mana in the deck is pretty scary. Alright, so they left me with my Ponder. No, hard casting Shark Typhoon. That's usually not the right thing to do, but they're probably going to get away with it here. Like, they could have just made a 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Could have just made a 14, 14 Shark. But I'm not going to be able to punish this, though. I think it would have been a lot safer and smarter to just hold up your mana and cycle. So I'm drawing Ponder, so at least that's something I can do. Court of Grace. That's missed its chance to be helpful this game. That's bad. I should probably have been more aggressively scrying with my Omen. So I have Omen plus Fetch Land to play around with Counterbalance if they cast spells, but they don't actually need to cast any spells for the rest of this game. They have Jace, Oko, and Dominating Planeswalker Presence. A couple of Pyroblasts would go a long way to mopping this up. Alright, so they bottomed my card. That's good news. I'm going to scry 2 in their end step, try to find the Terminus. Or I guess Entreat the Angels is the card that could still win me this game. Bottom. And yeah, we're past the point where that's going to be helpful. Ooh. Fate Shifter. Force of Negation. Getting a Shark Typhoon. Yes, let's reveal for Counterbalance. Wow, got there. Estrid's Invocation on top. So I'm gonna bounce this, draw a card, cast Estrid's Invocation. It's gonna copy Trial of Ambition. They're gonna sack a creature. I'm still in trouble. I can still hardcast Force though. They probably getting Mystic Sanctuary here. Oh, nope. Not Mystic Sanctuary, just shuffling their deck. Estrid's Invocation showing up a little late here. I am dead to everything. Pretty far behind on their board. Even if I answer all these creatures, Jace is going to get me. So they bottomed another card. That's cool. Alright, Pluto Delta's on top of my deck. It's weird that they're casting another Jace. I guess they just keep the 1 on 11 counters to make the 4/4 Shark. That makes sense. Guess when you have infinite mana and a Shark Typhoon, everything's viable. Alright, so I'm just gonna fetch now, because I'm gonna do that anyway, and at least this way I can F6. Let's see. Okay, they are showing Aminatou a little bit of respect instead of just going face. That makes sense. Estrid's Invocation can bounce itself and become Trial of Ambition again, so that's a separate engine that's going on. It's probably not going to matter. All right, copy Trial of Ambition again. You sack a creature. So Terminus, Entreat the Angels? None of the above. I am going to at least get my clock value here. I would concede this game in real life. We are dead on board, but these precious seconds may matter. I went from down 2 minutes to up 1.5 minutes. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, they got me. Yeah, this Estrid's Invocation Trial of Ambition is pretty powerful. If I had still had a Omen of the Sea around when I found Estrid's Invocation, that could have been pretty good. Okay, so do I even have a sideboard for this matchup? The Moat can blank Oko and Uro, so I'm probably bringing the Moat. Sorcerer's Spyglass can name Oko, so I'm doing that. Rest in peace. I mean, they have Uro and Mystic Sanctuary. I only have Mystic Sanctuary that cares about the graveyard. Though Mystic Sanctuary is a pretty big deal for the Entreat the Angels endgame. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna bring in Moat and Spyglass. And I'll probably cut. What do I want to cut? There's 80 cards in this deck. Something's got to be cuttable. Court of Grace is kind of sketch against the Icefang Coatl and Oko deck, but at the same time, it's one of my few ways to actually win a game. Like, there's literally Court of Grace and Entreat the Angels in this deck that can do damage to your opponent. Like, that's it. Alright, so I cut one of the Trials of Ambition. You probably want to find like exactly one of those in a game. And I'm going to cut one of the Spell Pierces. Like, that card is... Actually, I'm going to cut 2 Spell Pierces and bring Trial of Ambition back in. Just, that card's really good on turn 3 and 4, and really bad every other time. I don't think I want the paths. Yeah, this looks fine. I'm in for this. Alright, now to beat the clock. Yorion is revealed. Keep my hand. I'm gonna ponder to kick us off here. Tundra, Ponder. Estrid's Invocation right away. I like that. Alright, so I have the Omen of the Sea on turn 2, then Teferi turn 3, or Estrid's Invocation, copying Omen of the Sea on turn 3. Just get that engine online immediately. Alright, let's go. Bottom, top. I'll keep a plow around. You never know. So I think I actually, I fucked up. I was thinking about what I was going to do next and didn't navigate this plan. I think a better play this turn would have been Astrolabe and Brainstorm, but since I fetched, I'm just going to jam Teferi straight into one of their counter spells. But I actually think Estrid's Invocation is worth more than Teferi, which is why I cast Teferi instead. The old Teferi bait spell. So they haven't cast Sylvan Library yet. That's good news. Is this the Sylvan Library? Nope. Okay. All right. I think I want to jam this Invocation. Maybe not. Invocation's just really, really important that it resolves. So I'm gonna take my time setting up here. All right, Spyglass, very good. I can put this plow back, and Reality Acid plus Estrid's Invocation is actually like game breaking. So I don't need this Astrolabe. I'm going to slam this Spyglass, and that'll give me a look at their hand and proactively turn off Okos, both of which are things that I enjoy. Forest pitching Brainstorm. Okay. So they must have an Oko if they want to protect it like that. Ooh, end step Brainstorm in a control mirror. It's almost never correct. They have Jace, but not a land. That's the only reason to do that. Alright, yeah, missed their land drop. So they're Brainstorm locked, they don't have a land drop. I'm gonna Reality Acid one of these. So when Reality Acid leaves the battlefield, the owner of this permanent sacrifices it. So this is a very slow Stone Rain with Vanishing. However, if I Estrid's Invocation, copying Reality Acid, I can destroy a permanent every turn. Bottom, top. I just want to keep a blue card to go with this Force of Negation. I don't care about a Coatl if that's what they're doing. And even if they destroy Reality Acid, they still lose their land, because it's when Reality Acid leaves the battlefield. It's not like when its Vanishing counters run out or anything. It's crazy how hard I'm working to make this Estrid's Invocation work. I think this card will win the game on its own. This Commander staple or whatever this set this is from, whatever supplementary magic product that came out of. All right, Brainstorm, Ponder. This Ponder's almost certainly going to shuffle. Yeah, shuffle, because they have those Brainstorm cards underneath. Another Force of Negation's not really what I wanted. I really want a Force of Will so I can start shoving through. Yeah, lands are good here. Top. Probably should have done that in the other order, but here we are. Because if I can Estrid's Invocation next turn holding up Hardcast Force of Negation, that's good for me. Alright, this looks to me like an Oko holding up Pyroblast. Or Oko holding up Veil of Summer. Alright, let's see. Yep, here's the Pyroblast. That's actually not the worst. I am hoping to find a land this turn. If I find a land, I can cast Estrid's Invocation with Force backup. Alright, that was great. Okay. Invocation, copy Reality Acid, attach to Oko. That's great. And then Trial of Ambition, eat that Astrolabe. Now they're going to lose their land and their Oko, and I'm going to draw an extra card next turn. Oh, actually, I can stack my triggers, so I can copy Reality Acid one more time before the original vanishes. Okay, so yeah, they can also just destroy that one. At least I don't get to blink forever. I'm not gonna spend Scry mana in my upkeep with Omen of the Sea. That's just not my plan. I'm gonna draw, and if I don't draw a spell to cast, I will just get Yorion. Oh, that's not bad. Get your Coatl in. They're drawing the Red Blast here. Let's see if they cast it. Yeah, I'm gonna force some negation the Red Blast. I think that having counterbalance in play on this board is better than wishing for Yorion right now. Wow, okay. They would agree, it seems. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'm not, even a top deck land is still a mana short of casting Yorion next turn. Let's just play that same turn again. What do you say? They're under 4 minutes and I'm still over 7. I also think I'm going to win this game. Astrolabe on top. They get Oko. So they are Hellbent. That's great. One, and drawing the Astrolabe is an extra card I can draw off Yorion. Do have the requisite mana to make that happen. One, two, three, four, 5. Done. All right, so bottom. Okay, yep, that is the correct order of these triggers. Bottom, top, bottom, top, Draw, draw. Alright, not finding a blue spell to go with this force was kind of shitty there. Yorion can block this food though. Alright, they can Elk Yorion though. That is true. It's legal. I'll block. Even though Aminatou can blink that Yorion and turn it back into a real creature, I think blocking there is better. Alright, now it's going to be really hard for this Oko to win the game. Alright, I have a Swamp on top of my deck, so I have to shuffle with Blue to Delta. They have one card in hand, and I have Force of Will. I'm going to Scry in the end step. Oh, I'm going to Scry right. I'm going to fetch right now. Never mind. So I'm going to get Mystic Sanctuary, target Force of Negation. Yes. Oh wait, am I mana short? Oh, that sucks. Whoops. I thought I had 5 mana. What have I done here? Just fuck that up. Now I could definitely lose to this Jace. That was bad. Now I'm going to scry away the card I just put on top with Omen. Maybe not. Maybe I'll just draw. Take my draw. Awkward. Just trying to play fast and end up playing bad. Story of my life. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so they can... Alright, they don't have another Mystic Sanctuary. They haven't found an Uro yet. Yeah, them finding that Jace was actually brutal. It's just, can they beat this moat in 2 minutes? I think brainstorming with Jace is correct. Strategically correct, but I'm not sure if it's right given the... Alright, Astrolabe on top, that's fine. Given the fact that they need to win this game quickly. So, Uro can't attack. It can draw a bunch of cards. And I have this Trial of Ambition to clear it. I'll fetch just in case. I could put Force of Negation on top to make sure that it counters this, but I don't actually want to draw another one of those. Alright, Flooded Strand is much worse than the card that was on top a second ago. I would love to F6 so badly, but I just can't, given the board state. Alright, sack your creature. Okay, so I have some forces. I'm going to scry this turn, definitely. They have to beat me in 1 minute. I think that they would win this game in real life. I'm pretty far behind, but luckily this is Magic Online, where the clock matters. Let's see, do they have Assassin's Trophy and a backup spell? Alright, this time I will put Force of Negation on top to stop the Uro. Okay, Uro's done. They can't even recast it because the force is still on top. Wilting my moat, huh? I'm holding up 2 forces here. Alright. Oh, their last card is Force of Negation. Or Counterspell. And my top card costs 3. Okay. Alright, so I believe they would... Oh, they didn't even attack? Oh, I forgot to scry like I was supposed to. But it's not going to matter. They're going to time out in combat. Or to their Carpet of Flowers. That was a grind fest. Fairly certain we would lose it in real life, but clock is the boss. On to the next one. Alright, so I'm on the draw here. I'm actually going to keep this. It's a 1-lander, but it's got... I'm on the draw, and I have Spell Pierce and Brainstorm to play on 1, 2 forces. Just have to hope they're not a Wasteland deck. Please be Elves and not Loam. Please be Elves and not Loam. Inquisition, huh? Alright, that's probably going to strip my Brainstorm. Unless the Spell Pierce is good here. It's hard to know. Oh, Trial of Ambition might be the cut. If this is Depths, which is the most likely Bayou into Inquisition deck. Guess we'll all find out together. It's up to them. Having 2 forces means taking Force of Negation seems pretty unlikely. Okay, yeah, they are a Depths deck. Would have really liked to draw a basic island there, but I'm gonna work with what I got. Ghost Quarter. Dark Confidant. Yeah, that's worth a Force of Will. So I'm not going to Brainstorm in the end step. I get to see an extra card if I go to my turn. Plus, if I draw the land and I can just Omen, I get to save my Brainstorm. Guess I didn't need to Omen right away either. Every card in my hand is an instant. What am I even doing? Alright, bottom, and I'm actually going to bottom both of these because I'm just looking for lands right now. And those both draw cards, but I'd be trying to draw looking for a land. So basically I'd be spending mana to try to accomplish what the scry is trying to accomplish already. Alright, now's the time, deck. Give me that land for Detention Sphere. It heard me say Detention Sphere, but didn't hear the other part. Alright, give me a plow. Alright, Detention Sphere and one of these lands. I know I just said all I want is lands, but times change. I'm going to look for Swords to Plowshares. Counterbalance to Fairy. How good is any of this? The land is good. Counterbalance is fine. Teferi's fine. Yeah, I will actually keep this. And hope that Dark Confidant doesn't do too much damage the one turn it's going to be in play. So they get a trigger here. Abrupt Decay. Come on. That card is good against all of the things that I'm doing. Alright, I'll let them Thought Seize me. They'll probably take the Detention Sphere. Because that's the answer to the Dark Confidant, which is the only thing that either of us are really doing right now. So I can... They still haven't hit their land drop. So I'm drawing the land. I'm going to play Counterbalance. My top card costs 3, and I can Omen of the Sea in response to a spell that they play to change the top of my deck. Uh-oh. Now they can Abrupt Decay, and that doesn't matter. Let's see if they decay right away, or if they try to sneak some other stuff through. Yeah, the immediate decay is the right answer. No, I will not reveal. And Thought Seizing me, huh? Alright, I guess I should Omen in response. Ideally, there's a Teferi on top. Ideally, there's a land with him. Yeah, okay. Top, top. So they get to take the Force of Negation. Then I play Teferi. This Bob has been great. That Thoughtseize on my Trial of Ambition early on was huge. Alright, let's get this Dark Confidant out of here. There is an argument to bouncing Omen of the Sea instead, so I get to get an extra scry and stuff, but I think bouncing that Bob for a turn is worth doing based on the way this game is played out. I think... Do I want to scry or do I want to get Yorion this turn? I think I want to get Yorion. Come on, Swords to Plowshares or Trial of Ambition. Those are my best draws. Oh, Estrid's Invocation is not bad either. So this gets to become an Omen of the Sea now, and then more things in the future. If I find a land right now, I can wish for Yorion. It's crazy how good this card is. Maybe we should play more than 2. Alright, Omen. Aminatou and Terminus. I actually want both of these, but this order is kind of bad. I guess I'll top, putting Aminatou in hand. Plus Teferi, though I don't have faith he will last very long. Elvish Spirit Guide. So they don't have depths yet. They don't have stage yet. They don't have Vampire Hexmage. Like they have no part of their combo online. They are just full slow depths here. Please cast Elvish Spirit Guide as a creature. Give me my Terminus. Okay, there's Thespian Stage, so that's bad news. Alright, Hexmage is fine, because I have the Terminus coming. I'm going to exile this, get it back. Top, Terminus time. So if they crop rotate, I force it. They don't even have green mana to crop rotate with. They would have to like Ghost Quarter their own fetch land to get a basic forest. Now let's hope that this Brainstorm finds white mana for Aminatou. If it doesn't, I'll just put Yorion in hand. Okay, that's something. Okay, new plan. I think I want to... Alright, do I put Yorion in hand, or do I Acid one of these lands? I think I'm going to Acid Thespian Stage. put you on a clock. The Aminatou can blink Reality Acid next turn and kill the Thespian stage. I am kind of choked on white mana though, unfortunately. Like I can't Aminatou and hold up Plow next turn. I guess Omen of the Sea still has a chance to help me out here. Or the Estrid's Invocation. Copying Bayou. So this Ghost Quarter of theirs is actually pretty decent. Oh, bummer. They realized what this game was about. Alright, Swords of Plowshares versus Aminatou. If they have crop rotation, they can... Oh, the stage is tapped, so that doesn't matter. Need black mana. Oh, they have Urborg, so... Alright, just for... On principle, I will... Aminatou here, off of my basic island tapping for black. So I'm gonna blink Reality Acid. They should probably Ghost Quarter their... Alright, they didn't do it. They should have Ghost Quartered their Thespian stage in response to that, so I don't get to go off. Now I don't think I can lose. Like if their hand are 2 crop rotations, which they have not played like it is. Alright, Bob, I'm ready for you. Alright, so I'm not ready to do that. See if they let me flicker Reality Acid again. Alright, they keep letting me do it, so I'll keep doing it. Oh, stop. Oh, too late. I should have put Yorion in my hand. It's just busy getting value on Reality Acid going off. Alright, Reality Acid is responsible for 1 game win already. Alright, so against Dark Depths, Slow Depths specifically, I definitely want my Path to Exiles. Back to Basics, pretty good. Engineered Plague Naming, Vampire, or Advisor, both cut off angles for them. Court of Grace, actually pretty solid in this matchup. Spell Pierce, pretty solid here. Don't think I really need these Force of Negations. That's not really what I want to do. Counterbalance is medium. I don't want 4 of them, or 3 of them. I'll leave some behind, but I'd rather play to the board in this matchup basically all the time. Plus they've shown me Abrupt Decay. Overloading Abrupt Decay, there's a lot to like about that, but for now, cutting a Counterbalance seems fine. I'm actually going to cut another one. Bring in those cards, and I think that's fine. Oh, Spyglass, for sure. I need to make room for that. Naming Thespian Stage most of the time. Court of Grace, Force of Will, Entreat the Angels, Terminus. Those are all cards I want. Maybe Spell Pierce is the next cut. No, I'm actually going to just go to 0 Counterbalance. Fuck that card. Oh, my opponent left. They decided they can never beat this deck. I don't blame them, it's unbeatable. But I'm on the draw in round 3. It's a pretty easy keep. There's no force, so hope they're not a combo deck, but Spell Pierce, bridging the gap into my omens, pretty nice. I'm gonna hold up Spell Pierce instead of cast Ponder, for sure. The decks that play Taiga are the Epic Storm and random bullshit. And I want to hold up Spell Pierce against both of those decks. Alright. Yeah, the Epic Storm doesn't play Verdant Catacombs though, so we were off the hook there. Now it's time to figure out. Looks like we're playing against actual factual Jund. Trusty old Yund. Are we gonna get Bloodbraid Elfed next turn? There's a good chance, actually. I am extremely interested in finding white mana ASAP. There we go. So that also means I can Ponder now and still Omen. Alright, so I'm pretty well set up with a variety of answers here. Let's hope they don't just cast 4 Bloodbraid Elves in a row. Ramanap Excavator. Okay, yeah, they're gonna get a land drop off of that, but I have the Plow. Or I'm gonna trial it. Forget about Plow. I'll save Plow. I'm gonna Omen, End Step, and then Trial on my turn. Yeah, I think I still just want all these cards. So they could fetch for Dryad Arbor, I guess. It's like a line that exists probably in their deck. Though I'll take a Stone Rain too. That's fine. Yep, get out of here. Hope you didn't need that. So got through that one. But we are out of ways to manipulate the top of the deck. It's just counter spells and removal at this point. Grove of the Burn Willows. That makes me pretty glad that I have Force of Negation in hand. Easily getting Yorion here. I wish I had found a land to hold up Spell Pierce, but I did not, so here we are. That's pretty sick. Just spewing off an Abrupt Decay against this Trial of Ambition that already did its job. Tatiana, Protector of Argoth. That gets a Force of Will all day, every day. Yeah, that regrows a land when it comes into play, and whenever a land you control dies, you make a 5/3 elemental. So they would have got back their fetch land, fetched, and boom. Oh, nice. So Mystic Sanctuary can regrow Force of Will, and then Yorion can draw 3 cards. Alright, so unlike previous triggers, in the past, I've resolved the Omens of the Sea first, but since I know what the top card of my deck is and that I want it, I'm gonna resolve Astrolabe first to maximize my scries. Alright, Aminatou, hell yeah. I probably don't need Teferi here, but if I can get Aminatou looping Yorion, oh hey, what's up, girl? I'll keep 2 of these in case they have a discard spell or in case I need to pitch one of them to force, but I definitely want to stick this card next turn and get crazy. Well, lots of mana. Zenith for 5. I wonder if this is another Titania. Okay, I'll exile one of the Animatus because I have another. And now the battle cruiser's operational. So I'm gonna attack with Yorion. Cast Astrolabe. I don't think I want to brainstorm, so I'll just get Aminatou in there. Exile Yorion. Yorion exiles all of these cards, including Aminatou, because that replaces the loyalty. And they all come back. Now we're chunking. And this time, I want to resolve the scries first. I do kind of want a land drop, but I want it to be white. Okay, found the white one. Top. Yeah, I'll just keep all of this. I guess I can't keep all of it. I'm going to have to go to discard for some amount of it. So Underground Sea can go, and probably this extra Trial of Ambition, because I already have enough of those. Punishing Fire, sure. Regrow. Oh my god, the Spell Pierce is going to get it. Oh, they played their land. Yeah, I have the backup Aminatou. That's why I did that. Scavenging Ooze. Yeah, that's fine. I have Trial. So I can Trial. Fuck your Ooze. Flooded Strand. I'm going to fetch and put Force of Negation on top. Get my attack in. Then I'm going to Aminatou. We are well and truly going off here. Like a white and a black. It's free to tap these Astrolabes because they're about to get exiled and come back anyway. And they just scooped it up. I don't blame you. Woo. That was great. Okay, what are we doing against this Titania lands deck? Back to Basic seems pretty good. Moat, probably good. Rest in Peace, probably pretty solid, I would guess. Yeah, we've seen Ramanep Excavator and Scavenging Ooze and Titania, all of which care about the graveyard. Have to assume this is a Loam deck. So I think these are the cards I definitely want to bring in. Force of Negation, it's good against Punishing Fire, but I'm bringing in the Rest in Pieces, which are also good against Punishing Fire, so I'll get off that. Counterbalance is also kind of good against Punishing Fire and Loam, but only if I can manipulate the top of my deck meaningfully. And that basically I have Aminatou and my cantrips that can do that. Seems like a pretty good Court of Grace matchup. Do I want the Path to Exiles is the last mystery. I think Path is probably better than Counterbalance. They've shown me Abrupt Decay and 5-drops. So I'm gonna make that change. Don't think I want Torpor Orb. I didn't see anything that Torpor Orb would care about. So these are in. And the rest of this looks pretty good. There's some options on Spyglass, but I don't think I want it. I didn't see any indication that they're a Dark Depths deck. And my list is pretty good at beating a Merit Lage anyway. This hand is good. I have Island Ponder and Force of Will. Oh, they gave me the play. Wow. Glad I was paying attention. I normally just F6 through the first turn. Yikes. Close call. I am going to get Basic Island, even though this is a 3-color hand, because That deck has to have Wasteland in it. And just having kept a 1-lander, I don't want to be exposed like that. All right, let's see. Can they Thoughtseize my Rest in Peace? Zenith for Dryad Arbor. That's fine. Ooh, now I have the difficult choice of... All right, now it's not even difficult. I was going to say I have the tough call of do I fetch white for Rest in Peace or black for Trial, but now I don't even have to think about it. Should have got a basic swamp there. I played around Wasteland on turn 1 and then just changed my mind for no reason. Whoops. Just so excited. Abrupt Decay my Trial again, because that was pretty cool last game. Yeah, I'm going to force Sylvan Library. That's one of the best cards that there is. Right, this will get Tundra. Let's get Aminatou going. I'm going to use her to hide Rest in Peace from discard spells. Yeah, this mode is pretty mediocre. The plus barely does anything, really. All right, let's Rest in Peace. Get this handled. They are a little bit mana screwed over there. That's not something I want to hit with a Path to Exile. And D-Sphere. I'll just put Yorion in my hand. So Yorion is exposed to a discard spell right now. Not the best, but I have to use my mana. Scoos. Alright, Astrolabe, great draw. I really didn't want to cast Yorion this turn. I want to get a little more going on out of him before that happens. I can play this Detention Sphere and exile their food, and then when I blink Yorion, when I blink Detention Sphere with Yorion, it actually gets to exile a real permanent, and it denies them a mana along the way. I have Force if I really need it, but I don't want to have to force pitching Yorion. Not one bit. Alright, Swords to Plowshares. That's not bad. They're going to make a food, and then I'll plow the goose. I am trying to control their mana pretty hard here. I think that if I can stick this Yorion before their mana is under them, I'm going to win. But I basically need... Oh, yuck. That's really bad. I don't want to pitch Yorion. Alright, I'm going to hope to draw a land and hope they don't have Red Blast. I could easily lose this game here. Shit. Okay, so I drew a blue card to go with Force of Will. So now I need the land to cast Yorion, and I can protect Yorion with Force, which should help. Just gotta hope too many horrible things don't happen this turn. Alright, deck, time to draw me a land. It's not Bloodbraid Elf. They would have done that first main phase. Zenith for 1. Like Elvish Reclaimer? Caustic Caterpillar, my god! Alright, so Do I even path to exile? I don't think so. Bummer. Okay, that's not so bad. I will leave the land on top where I can get it if I need it, and then cast this trial. See what they want to do about that. So they can sack the caterpillar to the trial, but then they don't have the caterpillar anymore, or they could sack Scavenging Ooze. Let's see what they value. Ooh. Okay, that's actually crazy. I could just spell Pierce. No, I don't care that much about that. Because next turn I'm going to Yorion with Force backup. Yeah, and I have double trial to get both these creatures anyway. Yeah, that Veil of Summer was good though. Another Scavenging Ooze. Okay. Alright, so now if they have double Reb or Reb and Veil, I'm fucked. And with the Sylvan Library, there's a good chance they have all of that going on. Moment of truth. Uh-oh, they're fetching. That's usually not good for me. But what does Bayou cast that Taiga doesn't? I don't know. Maybe they're gonna Abrupt Decay one of my permanents before I can blink it. Is that the plan? Or are they gonna activate Caterpillar before I can blink? I hope that's what's going on. Okay, yeah, they Caterpillared my Rip. Alright, that's fine. So they lose all their creatures and their library. And I draw a card. Deal. This Detention Sphere, the investment I made earlier, finally paying off. Okie dokie. Yes, please do that. Is going after the Rest in Peace a little bit scary? I guess they could just quickly pivot with a Punishing Fire and kill me from 6 life. I am pretty low. Oh, they got the sweet Metal Assassin's Trophy. I'm super jealous. I'm going to get a Plains in case I need to Path to Exile something this turn. Though I guess I have Astrolabe, so that doesn't matter. Oh, fuck yeah, Astrid's Invocation. Though it's barely even good here. Though, that's not true. Copying Detention Sphere gets rid of their food, and then I can blink next turn and get rid of something else. Yeah, so they can gain some life. And if I ever find an Omen of the Sea, I win. Also, any creature they play gets mushed by Trial, so they need to produce multiple creatures in a turn, or just burn me out. Alright, this game is surprisingly competitive for where I thought we were going to be at this point. So I'm gonna blink Estrid's Invocation into a counterbalance. Because if I draw a fetch land, now I get 2 looks at countering spells. Alright, not a fetch land. I'm just gonna hold that in case I draw Brainstorm. Abrupt Decay targeting that one. I can't counter that. Okay, so they get their library back. That's pretty brutal. They're at 8 life though, so they don't have a whole lot of. They can only draw 1 more extra card this game unless they start gaining life somehow. Those are so cool. Alright, what do you got for me? What's the big payoff? This looks like a Green Sun Zenith for 3. There's only 1 4-drop in my whole deck, so let's hope I reveal it. Nope, Ponder on top. Okay, your Zenith is good. Let's see if it's something with haste or something that kills me. Yep, Clothis certainly counts. Alright, I'm going to leave Estrid's Invocation where it is. Do I have any out to a Clothis? Alright, so Astrolabe draws Teferi. Teferi bounces Astrolabe and draws 2 more cards. I should float a Snow Mana first. Drawing these extra cards, I think, is more important for me at this point than it is to bounce their Sylvan Library. There is another Detention Sphere somewhere in the deck. That's how I can beat Clothis. And Clothis gains life, so they can draw an extra 2 extra cards now off Sylvan Library. And I'm also dead in 2 turns. So a lot of stuff going on here. I guess Teferi could have bounced Clothis. That might have been a better use of my the limited time I have left here. Punishing Fire, please counter this. Court of Grace on top. Where were you last turn? Oh, good, that went after Teferi. That's lucky. I'm glad they didn't go for my face. Oh, they had 2 of them. Didn't matter. Okay, so is there any way that I can gain life or remove, like at instant speed? Swords of Plowshares, no. Okay, I am deceased. Yeah, Court of Grace. There's nothing I can draw off my Monarch trigger to win the game. But so I do have the 2 Detention Spheres and Reality Acid that can deal with Clothis. Rest in Peace also deals with Clothis. So that I'm not. It's not that bad. All right. I don't think my sideboard plan changes at all. I just need to not take so much damage early getting set up. I played around Red Elemental Blast for a long time for that Yorion, took a lot of damage to do it. And I think that was right to do because they had the Red Blast. Like, I also lose that game even faster if Yorion doesn't resolve. Ooh, there she is. Okay, so I got Aminatou. I don't have a trial for this, unfortunately. I want to preordain to get that Aminatou into my hand. I will actually forget it. Change of plans. She's not actually that good on this battlefield, and for that reason, I'm going to shuffle her away. Like, there's nothing to even blink yet. What am I trying to do here? Okay, I found something to blink, so the next Aminatou is going to be better. Oh no, they have they're holding up Red Blast or Veil. This is a beating. Yep, there it is. Youch. Maybe I should have just let it resolve, since it was clear they had it anyway and used Teferi to bounce next turn. Willing to believe I just messed that up. Alright, I lose Teferi to Dryad Arbor right away, but I think a turn with them not drawing an extra card while I do draw an extra card is worth it. Plus, if they attack Teferi, it's one less mana they have to work with. To draw a bunch of cards this coming turn. Yeah, Swords to Plowshare is a good draw here. Taking out this Dryad Arbor is definitely worth something. I do have a lot of lands right now, but having 2 Astrolabes in hand, juice up the Yorion in the future. But I am going to get completely buried by the Sylvan Library very quickly. I definitely should have just let Library resolve, not play into the obvious Veil of Summer. Estrid's Invocation. This is the worst you've ever been. Alright, get Yorion in hand. Enchantment you control. Bummer. Alright, can't become a Sylvan Library. The fact that they did nothing with their Jund deck on 4 mana is pretty suspicious. Like, what flash threat could they have? Oh, it's just a big Force of Vigor taking out my 2 Astrolabes, making Yorion a big brick. That's pretty good. I mean, on the one hand, those both replace themselves and Force of Vigor doesn't, so I am like up cards on that exchange, but I am down cards virtually because of how good Yorion is and how it needs stuff to blink. Alright, let's see how you feel about Counterbalance. And then I'm gonna copy Counterbalance. Where's my basic swamp? I want that. There is a basic swamp, right? Yeah, okay, there it is. So unlike creature clones, Estrid's Invocation just can exist and play as an enchantment, just all on its own. So if they destroy Counterbalance in response, I don't lose this. I am going to reveal for counterbalance because I want to know what's on top of my deck because I have a fetch land. So now I can decide if I want Force of Will or not and fetch based on that information. Though I am very likely to fetch Mystic Sanctuary and put Ponder or Preordain on top. Like, I think that's a good time to cash in this top deck war. Just finding an Omen of the Sea for Invocation to copy would be a huge deal. Exiling my Plows. That's fine. And now I don't even have to shuffle. They got rid of that. They got rid of Plows. I hope they are counting on a creature in their hand because I have the other one at the ready. So that's a shuffle. Yeah, I think I do want to Mystic Sanctuary for a Preordain here. All right, find something good. Trial of Ambition is pretty good. So I can top those two. You keep the Brainstorm in hand in case they have discard spells. Like, protecting Yorion is going to be my end game here. And it is kind of scary to know that they have 9 spells in their hand, because they haven't played a land drop in a long time. Alright, so my top card is Trial. I could Brainstorm looking for an answer to this. I have some time though. Like, they left up green for Veil of Summer. Like, I think I'm gonna have to answer this thing on board. Like so. Alright, I'll put back these 2 trials because they don't matter. I'm gonna play... I think playing Detention Sphere could bait a Red Blast, and then I can get them with Rest in Peace. Or, like, this could bait a Reb or a Veil. Alright, I'm actually gonna juke and take the Sylvan Library. Because the Rest in Peace, I have this also. Estrid's Invocation can blink and remove Clothis if they deal with Rip. That was a really good Brainstorm. Alright, Clothis is a very pretty looking hood ornament at this point. Alright, just immediately Abrupt Decaying so they can eat their Abrupt Decay. It's kind of cool that they committed to destroying the Rest in Peace instead of Detention Sphere, because I'm way more worried about Sylvan Library. Oh. Oh, this doesn't blink if it doesn't copy. That sucks. Fuck my life. Okay. I'll have to reset that with Yorion in the future. I did not realize that's how that works. Yeah, you may have it enter the battlefield as a copy, except it has this. So it doesn't have it if you don't copy. Great. Good to know. And now I need to play around Red Blast forever, because this Yorion is my whole plan. Caterpillar, that can get their Sylvan Library back. Well, Might as well force the exchange. Okay, they tapped out of blue mana, or they tapped out of red mana to do that, which is kind of sus. Like maybe they don't have Reb? Is that even possible? Does it even matter at this point? Yeah, all those turns of Sylvan Library setting up their hand to be perfectly reactive. Like they had 8 spells in hand for several consecutive turns and just passed all their mana up, so they obviously had a ton of reactive stuff. Is it Titania time? Alright, so she's going to enter, and I'm going to path her before this trigger resolves. I don't need them getting a 5/3. I'm drawing wild for the first time in several turns right now. That was pretty good. This might bait a red blast. All right, I'm going to put Yorion on top. Yeah, Yorion's just not even good right now. This Clothis has done too much damage. Or the Force of Vigor, really, is what did it. I also haven't seen a Omen of the Sea yet this game. I'm just watching my life drip away here. Okay, so they can make 2 5/3s. Do they have haste? No. Okay. The 5/3s don't have haste. So I'll take that. Assassin's Trophy targeting Aminatou. Oh my god. No, I actually can't shuffle my deck because Yorion is on top. Well, here goes everything. If they have the red blast, I lose. Alright, what's going on here? Yorion was not countered, which is good news. Are they going to destroy my trials in response? Nope, guess not. So I can make them sacrifice 3 creatures, I think, unless Invocation can't copy. Run afoul. Alright, I choose Yorion. Yeah, because they came in at the same time, Invocation can't see the trials. And I am dead. Okay. Yeah, actually, me not understanding how Estrid's Invocation works actually probably cost me that game. Not realizing that it had to copy something to get the blink ability. Like, this just sat in play and did nothing forever. I could have slow rolled it and played around Abrupt Decay. On the turn, I tried to copy Counterbalance, and then this would have been blinking, copying Detention Sphere, dealing with Library or Clothis. So yeah, that was a huge misunderstanding that ended up being a big deal. And I'm on the draw in round 4. I'm going to keep this. It's got a land, it's got some cantrips. It's got a cantrip, I should say. Some interaction on turn 1. Like the Force of Negation, double Spell Pierce. This deck plays 4 Spell Pierce, and we haven't really seen one in an early game yet. So it's time to see if this card is worth its spot. I'm going to pass with Spell Pierce up. I can Pierce this turn and Ponder on my turn, and hopefully leave up Pierce again. Spell Pierce does not help against Stoneforge Mystic. Opponent just going straight for the throat on that one. Alright, Batter Skull, kind of scary. Alright, so I'm gonna fetch a basic island and cast Ponder and hope to find Swords to Plowshares. Alright, I found Swords to Plowshares. Not bad. Oh, this actually kind of sucks because I want this land. I also want basically all this stuff. So maybe I can let them have Batter Skull. So if I stack it like this, I can play my Underground Sea and hold up Spell Pierce. I just gotta hope they're not a Wasteland deck at this point. Most Stoneforge Mystic decks are not, but it has happened in the past. So now I'm holding up Swords to Plowshares and Spell Pierce. I want to draw this Trial of Ambition. It's going to be good eventually. So I'm going to let them put in Batter Skull, and I'm going to plow it. And then I can protect that with Spell Pierce. And by plow it, I mean plow the germ. Maybe I should go to their turn. No, but then they get Counterspell, so yeah, let's just plow this germ right now. Alright, I also have Spell Pierce. Them having Spell Pierce instead of Force here is kind of rough. Like, Legacy is in a spot where we're not used to playing these like small soft counters anymore. They used to be everywhere, but now it's all forces and card draw. Narset, huh? That's not a card that I really want to play against. Looks like I'm not going to have a choice though. Another, okay, Brainstorm. I'm glad that wasn't Spell Pierce. So now if they want Narset to resolve, they're going to have to force, unless they play Daze, which I guess could happen. Okay, if they had a counterspell, they would have fought over Narset. So my spells are going to resolve this turn, which means I got to decide. I guess Aminatou is pretty easy slam dunk. Force of Negation is the one card they could have that they wouldn't have been able to cast on their own turn. And if this resolves, I'm going to blank Astrolabe. Because that's a pure draw instead of a selection draw. Like if I plus, I don't actually get any deeper into the deck. I guess she could also blink a land to untap it so I could hold up Spell Pierce, but I haven't hit my land drop yet. I'd rather try to hit it that way. And missing on my land drop there sucks, of course, because missing land drops always sucks. No surprise there. They are playing awfully fair over there, though. That this just pure blue-white thing they got going on. I don't have to worry about Uro or Oko. I guess they could just fetch Tropical Island and cast those cards still, but it is refreshing in the meantime. Alright, so I think I should brainstorm first. This sees the most cards. I'm glad I didn't get Hull Breacher there. Alright, I'm going to put back one of the trials and this redundant Aminatou. Then I can trial the Stoneforge Mystic, or do I think that Counterbalance is a better card to have in play early on? Let me draw and see what happens first. Okay, so I'll put Misty Rainforest on top. Now I'll put Trial of Ambition on top. This is actually kind of tough. All right, I'm gonna cast Trial right now because they can pick up Batterskull at their end step, and then if they untap with Stoneforge, they'll have access to it still. So by trialing now, that cuts off the Batterskull next turn. All right, can't pierce that back. So I guess I'll just play my second Astrolabe. And pass. So they didn't pick up Batterskull on their end step. That's really interesting. They have Jace. Am I playing, or is it Big Teferi? What's happening to me right now? They tapped a bunch of mana, then untapped all that mana, and then went to combat. Oh, nope. They want to put Batterskull into play this turn. That's what's going on. Okay, so I'm going to go for Teferi. Wow. Aminatou can even blink Teferi. So I put in Teferi, Snapcaster Mage. Okay, Snapcaster's in. Are you going to target Spell Pierce? Targeting Brainstorm. Alright, that's not my favorite. Because if Brainstorm finds a force, Spell Pierce still doesn't get through. If they Spell Pierce, I can pay for it. Also, this line means that Batterskull's not happening. Alright, and Teferi's just in, so I'll take that. Alright, let's get Stoneforge Mystic out of here first. Because this'll, if they like put something in with Stoneforge Mystic, that informs other decisions. Alright, Jitte's here. Aminatou, blink Teferi. Get the Snapcaster up out of here. And then I don't have any 2-drops in the graveyard, unfortunately, to put on top with Mystic Sanctuary. So I'm going to save that. I'm going to fetch a basic because their mana base looks like it could easily support back to basics in the main. Okay, so now I have 2 Planeswalkers in counterbalance and a Force of Negation up against their Stoneforge Mystic, Snapcaster, 2 mystery cards. Let's counter that. Didn't counter that. Swords to Plowshares. Pitching Spell Pierce. It might be better to pitch the redundant Aminatou, but it's close. Okay, so they can search for another equipment if they have one. There's probably one more left. They usually play 3, unless it's already in their hand. So I'm drawing Swords to Plowshares. Knew about that already. To manipulate the top of my deck a little bit. Alright, I'll put this 3 up there, plus this. Plow. Yeah, I might as well plow that. I could put Yorion in hand right now. I think that's way more powerful than anything they're going to do. Alright, that's the plan. I have a 3 on top. Yorion's in hand, ready to pop off next turn. Ponder, not going to reveal. Like a 3 can counter Council's Judgment, or Hull Breacher, or, yep, there's the Council's Judgment. Boom, ready for that. And that should do it. Now I get to Yorion. So plus to Fairy, and then minus Aminatou, because she's about to get reset by Yorion anyway. Oh wow, is that better than... That might be better than Yorion. It's pretty close. Nah, I'll Yorion. Yorion is susceptible to Swords to Plowshares, though, where the other things aren't. Fuck it, I'll Yorion. I have Court to follow up if I need it. So I'm going to exile Aminatou, Arkham's Astrolabe, and Astrolabe. I'm not going to... I guess they don't have white mana up, so I will exile Teferi as well. I wouldn't have done that if they had white up, because I don't want to get plowed, but I don't have to because they didn't have it. Just +1 loyalty on Teferi. And they've scooped it up. I feel bad for beating up on Blue-White Stoneblade, which is a deck that I so like, but at the same time, they are my enemy. So Torpor Orb actually seems reasonable here. This Snapcaster Stoneforge Mystic deck. Force and Negation doesn't seem super important, though they did show me Narset, who's pretty scary. Spyglass and Stony Silence do kind of the same thing, which is turn off equipment. So what's less important here? Counterbalance I'm always willing to shave on. That card has been, performed above average in this league compared to other times I played it, because we actually have ways to manipulate the top of the deck, unlike just putting it into play and hope it does anything. But it's still pretty cuttable. And Spell Pierce was medium. They have a lot of creature-based threats. The Snapcaster Mage, the Stoneforge Mystic, so I can't even really count on that working. Yeah, I think I would rather just play to the board. Alright, let's go. There is some argument to cutting the last Spell Pierce for the first Path to Exile, and if there's a game 3, I might still do that. I had to leave in the Force of Negations, though, because Narset is a gigantic, gigantic problem. All this deck does is draw cards and barely has any creatures. Alright. Speaking of barely having creatures, there's one. One of the 2 creatures in the deck is here. Gonna Spell Pierce my Astrolabe. Nope. Okay. We drew the 1 of Spell Pierce left in the main deck. Let's hope it gets Narset. Ooh, I'm glad they didn't jam Stoneforge Mystic this turn. Alright, Force of Negation. Now I'm feeling pretty safe against Narset. I do want this land, so I'm not going to shuffle. I'm going to draw the land. I'm going to draw the land now, because if I have to fetch and cast Spell Pierce, I want to make sure that the land is still in my hand. Ooh, these are some aggressive brainstorms that I don't agree with. They're almost certainly going to shuffle this Ponder based on the way they've brainstormed. Like, even if they like one of the cards, because of the way they've brainstormed and played their land before they pondered, chose not to shuffle. I'm surprised, but you can do what you want. I don't actually want Force of Will, so I'm just gonna fetch. That's a plan. Gotta get there though. I'm not gonna put Yorion in my hand because I'm currently holding up Hardcast, Force of Negation, or Spell Pierce. And if I put Yorion in my hand, I'd have to discard a hand size. Just generally not advisable. They've cast so many cantrips and just still haven't done anything. Now I need to start hitting land drops because I don't want to go to discard. Alright, this should bait some sort of counterspell. Alright, she's out of here. That's fine. Just start working through that hand, and I didn't have to go to discard. Like, if I don't cast something there, I go to discard and I lose the card anyway. At least this way I took something with me. And they're just over there still, making land drops, not casting any spells. Oh god, if they Hull Breacher me on this Brainstorm, I'm so dead. Don't Hull Breacher me. Thank you. Okay, so Entreat the Angels back in the deck, Estrid's Invocation back in the deck. And I think it's a good time for Torpor Orb. This will kind of force the Snapcaster Mage to arrive if it's gonna show up. Easy Spell Pierce. I'm gonna get another basic because I have Astrolabe. So I did not keep a blue card in hand for this Force of Negation. Let's see if that punishes me. Jace. Yep, that might be a bit of a punish. Let's see if Jace can beat Court of Grace in the heads-up battle. Though Court of Grace is getting jammed straight into Spell Pierce and basically every other card. Oh, you're a Jeskai deck. That's bad news. Omen of the Sea. I think that's a better use of my mana this turn. I don't need that land. I'll take this Ponder though. I can Ponder, counterbalance with Estrid's Invocation on top. Alright, I'm basically in the Mayor of Tap Out City at this point, just trying to get cards out of their hand so I can work at this Court of Grace into play. Gotta watch out for Snapcaster Mage. Like, even if it doesn't cast a spell out of their graveyard, it's still a 2/1 that can steal the Monarch. Uh-oh. Okay, so that, let's see if they go for Stoneforge Mystic right now, or if that was to unlock their Snapcaster Mage. Stoneforge. Okay, so drawing a land right now would be a huge deal. If I can Trial of Ambition plus Court of Grace. Oh, I already knew that Estrid's Invocation was the top of my deck. Duh. Copy this. Alright, we both have our engines online. Do you have a Spell Pierce? Nope. Get your creatures out of here. Okay, so now it's Jace versus Estrid's Invocation, which I think is kind of a close battle. And I can fetch Mystic Sanctuary if I want to. I could get Ponder back, but I don't think that's where I want to be. Yes. Come back as this. Aminatou, not bad. Bottom preordained, top Aminatou. Draw for turn. Okay, so I'm going to lead on the Torpor Orb. They seem to want to fight over that last time. Let's see if that's still true. This is absolutely a bait spell. Alright, that's gone. Aminatou. You're in. Red Blast. Okay. Alright, and the game continues. Snapcaster. Oh no. If they Red Blast my Estrid's Invocation, I'm probably wrecked. Wow, they are not giving that the respect it deserves. So they get to connect with Sword of Fire and Ice this turn. This is a great game. I'm really excited about this. Like, I think they're doing the right thing by brainstorming with Jace, because I will take them over on the card advantage front very quickly if they don't. But at the same time, if they had been plussing me, I probably would have lost by now. But instead, I'm just keeping pace with my Estrid's Invocation. Yeah, this is fun. I love a blue mirror. Pyroblast is the card that could break this open, and they just had their chance to cast one and didn't. Yes, copy Omen. I have another trial, so I'm just gonna rely on that. Oh, Moat. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm actually gonna bottom the Moat, and I'll keep the Plow, just in case they want to counter the trial. I kind of hope they do counter the trial. Yes, 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 yes. Thank you. Swords to Plowshares. All right, don't counter me again. You could have one, but not two. And now I'm going to make my move on Court of Grace. This is playing into Spell Pierce, but I don't think I'm going to get a better window. I could place around Red Blast. They already forced, and I am the Monarch. Welcome to the Monarchy. All right, now I have to beat these Planeswalkers. I think Yorion will do a pretty good job of pulling ahead. Counterbalance interacts even through Teferi. Narset, okay, that's pretty good. Swords to Plowshares in their hand. Yeah, Narset is obviously very good at counteracting the Monarch. But being the Monarch, creating a stream of 4/4 creatures, pretty good. I'm going to copy Court of Grace with Estrid's Invocation this turn. Yes, copy Court of Grace. That is not a legend. It's pretty cool that I can stack my triggers in a way where even if I lose the Monarch, I can take it back at instant speed, like in front of the yeah, like so in front of the trigger, I can blink and become the monarch again. So they basically, I always get a 4/4. All right, so they're gonna steal the monarch because I know they have Swords to Plowshares in hand, but I can just get it back by blinking Estrid's Invocation, make another 4/4. Yeah, this is pretty sweet. Pyroblast. So they're, but they don't have red mana. They weren't going to use it anyway. That's fine. All right. So I guess if Teferi bounces the original Court of Grace, then I can't blink and become the monarch. But then I can just recast the original one. I don't know. This is close. Another Swords to Plowshares. Okay. Yeah, if Teferi doesn't bounce at least one of these Courts of Grace, I'm going to have just an overwhelming board state. If I get two 4/4s on my turn, they're in trouble. All right, they bounced Estrid's Invocation, which I guess that one could be red blasted. All right, that makes some sense. Hardcast Batterskull, that's cool. I still get a 1/1 from Court of Grace, even if I'm not the Monarch. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7. I'm 1 mana short of Yorion and Estrid's Invocation. There's the mana. All right, so I'm going to go for Invocation. Pretend I don't have a land drop. If they counter this, then I'll pivot and jam Yorion. Or maybe I pick Trial of Ambition, make them sack a creature, and then I go for Yorion. Let's see who just got slow rolled. Someone did. Don't red blast me. Oh my god. So, okay, they're plowing Yorion, which doesn't matter because the trigger is the important part. Alright, become something different, kill something, scry 2. Those are the ones that matter. Okay, so these come back. This will be Court of Grace. And you're going to sack your Batterskull. I'm going to scry 2. Then I'm going to untap with double Court of Grace. Bottom both of these. Though Teferi is for the first time under some pressure. They have enough mana that they can bounce and replay Batterskull basically every turn, if they just want an endless stream of 4/4s. Yikes. That's certainly a Magic card that exists. What year is it? Oh no, another Teferi. Actually, that doesn't matter, because they can't take the Monarch this turn. And if they bounce the Estrid's Invocation, I can copy Trial of Ambition. Wow, they're just not... I don't want to be too harsh on my opponents, but I'm pretty sure that bouncing the original Court of Grace would have been the right call last turn and this turn, but they keep bouncing Invocation instead. I guess it doesn't matter. No, that might be right, because I can just blink Invocation and copy Trial if they don't do that. So, all right, I take it back this time. So I get a 4/4. Draw for turn. I'm going to attack to fairy. My creature has flying. As tempting as it is to remove the Narset, if I can unlock these forces, I'm gonna win. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's get this shit out of here. Yes, I will pay 2 for my Spell Pierce. Alright, and then I guess I will make my land drop at least. Put Swords to Plowshares on top of the deck, just to make sure I don't lose the Monarch. Alright, Court of Grace, time to shine. They do get a lot of control. They only have 11 cards, 13 cards left in their deck. But they get a lot of control over the board state with this Jace, because it can bounce every turn. They're voting for my court. Okay, so I don't get the 4/4 anymore. Alright, if they have a counterspell in hand for my Estrid's Invocation. Oh, wow. They are just going to lose their True Name Nemesis to Estrid's Invocation now. Alright, see you later. Alright, now the plan is to run them out of win conditions. Alright, and they conceded. That was a grind fest, and it was awesome. That was one of my favorite matches of Magic I've played in months. Thank you, opponent, for that. On to the final round. Alright, on the draw in the finals, my hand has Island Ponder in it. You know I'm going to keep it. Uh-oh, Chalice of the Void's coming. Okay, good thing I have Detention Sphere. Counterbalance. The card notoriously good against decks with Ancient Tomb in them. That's sarcasm, by the way. See, is this Blood Moon? Oh, Goblin Matron. Yikes, is this the Muxus Stompy deck? It's gotta be. What other deck has these cards in it? Yep, there is Muxus. There's a Muxus amongst us. Reality Acid's fun, though. Alright, so I'll get Tundra, cast Counterbalance. Not that I have much faith in that working. And Muxus is going to arrive next turn. Let's just hope Terminus is on top of the deck. Mystic Sanctuary is on top. That's not what I wanted. So what are you looking for with this Matron? Another Muxus. Just keep the party going. So I can Detention Sphere these Matrons. They would both disappear. I could also Detention Sphere Chalice. I think that's better. I could easily just lose to Muxus this turn, but trying to set up, getting my cantrips online, trying to set up a Terminus is basically the only way I'm winning this game. Which is too bad, because this hand was really good at getting the Reality Acid engine going early. Alright, Terminus on top. Reveal Terminus. Oh, revealed Ponder. Not quite what we were looking for. Maybe they'll miss. So I'm dead? Yep, that looks pretty lethal to me. 10, 14, 17, yep. Very dead. Alright, dead to the turn 4 Muxus Goldfish. A Force of Will would have won that game. Actually, that might not be true. They had the second Muxus lined up. So Moat definitely coming in. Engineered Plague comes in. Back to Basics in. I think it is time for the Enlightened Tutor package. Torpor Orb comes in. Because E-Tutor for Moat is just going to be such a hammer in this matchup that I think I actually want to do that. Court of Grace can go. Counterbalance can go. Force of Negation can or Spell Pierce goes before Force of Negation does. Though they're both bad. Is there anything left that should be in the deck? I guess Path to Exile has more text than Force of Negation does. I mean, Force of Negation is more outs to a turn 1 Chalice, which really affected me that game. It might not have looked like it, but not being able to ponder and sculpt my draws was a big problem. Let's see. I probably do still want the Force of Negations. Trial of Ambition is kind of medium. I think a Trial of Ambition, and I'm not going to have time for Reality Acid. Alright, this is the plan. The plan is basically Moat. Make no mistake. Like, my plan is to get Moat into play. I'll keep this. It's got a Sweeper and a Force of Will. Can draw some cards before it's too late. This deck also usually has Blood Moon in it as a sideboard option. So getting out ahead of that with Astrolabe and Basic Land is a big deal. I don't know if they would bring in Blood Moon. Blood Moon would be pretty bad for them because it turns off their caverns and their ancient tombs. Let's see what they got. I'd prefer not to play against a Chalice of the Void. Please don't make me decide if I'm going to force a Chalice or not. That's what's going to happen right now. Yeah, I guess I'm going to force Chalice. Omen is definitely worse than Brainstorm, especially with me holding Terminus. So I'm going to Brainstorm, put Terminus, both of these Terminuses back in the deck. Fetch basic planes. And play this Astrolabe. Alright, there's Moat, and I found another Force of Will along the way. So the plan is here. We just need to get to 4 mana now before we're dead. Matron, okay. Alright, Ponder. Just find me 2 lands. Alright, now find me 1 land. Find me land blue card, actually. Perfect. Okay, so I have a land and a blue card for Force of Will and land for Moat. So this should turtle up pretty well. It'll just depend on if they play Sling Gang Commander or Sling Gang Lieutenant. I believe his rank is Lieutenant. Alright, so there's no Cavern in play. Yep, good thing we found the blue card. Pitch Gem Palm Incinerator. Alright, we're going to find out right now if they can beat a Moat. I'm going to put them into play and see if they concede. I'm going to get my basic Swamp. Just continue playing around Blood Moon just in case. Are you dead? Alright, they're not ready to concede yet. Now I have to figure out if Mystical Tutor has a good target left in my deck. I boarded out the Court of Grace, which was probably a mistake, because it's the combo with... I guess I should probably just E-Tutor for my brain is failing. Omen of the Sea, and get set up for future Yorion. Oh, Aminatou. I'll actually just put you into play right now. I am curious what their plan to win the game is. Drawing a land was great. It's got to be related to Sling Gang Lieutenant. Unless they have like a Ratchet Bomb that they can get up to 4. I don't know. I just don't know. There's Rabble Master, and they have a Lackey in their hand. So I am dead, effing dead if they ever get through this moat. So I can draw because I have Aminatou. I'm not in a hurry to Enlighten Tutor. So I'm gonna cast Teferi. I guess I should Aminatou first. Oh, wait, no, Teferi, Blinking Teferi is the same as Blinking Astrolabe, but it gets 2 things out of the way. Get rid of Thorn of Amethyst, and then Blink Teferi. Get rid of Chrome Mox. Yeah, I should definitely have Court of Grace in my deck as the way to actually win the game once I'm behind a moat. Because now I have to find exactly Entreat the Angels. Thorn. I guess I want to fetch, putting Force of Will on top. Oh, I don't have 3 islands. Never mind. Can't do that. Okay, letting this resolve is the same as responding to it in that case. Okay, Crater Maker. That can destroy one of my Astrolabes. So I'll get an island this time, then Enlighten Tutor. Oh, I could get Engineered Plague. Or I think Omen of the Sea is just the right call, though. Yeah, I'm not going to get Engineered Plague as a backup moat. Like that seems unnecessary. Bottom, top. So now I can cast this Force of Negation if I want to. Though, no, I should just put Yorion in hand. Quit farting around. I put Mystic Sanctuary back in, and then get Yorion. I guess I can pitch Yorion to Force of Negation if they find some answer to moat. But Yorion flying for the last 10 damage is my plan to win the game now. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. They are 1 goblin short and black mana short of Sling Gang Commander, or Sling Gang Lieutenant. Oh, if Muxus chucks one into play, though. One, two, three, four, five, 6. So they just tried to spend 6 mana on something, and their Thorn stopped them. I think they have a Chalice. Okay, Chalice on 1 is back. Perfect, well played. Whoops. You're allowed to shame concede to that. I wouldn't think less of you. Alright, so now I am going to put the Force of Will on top of my deck. That should lock this up because I get to Yorion now. Alright, plus to Fairy. Minus Aminatou on Orm's Chant, or this is not Orm's Chant, Omen of the Sea. Words are difficult. Bottom, top, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. I'm 1 short of getting this Estrid's Invocation into play. That's okay. Here's Yorion. Bounce you, you, and you. I'm not going to get cute and bounce the moat. I don't think it would matter. Like, it would come back. I don't think they like can't attack on my turn, but why would you fuck around when you don't have to? Okay, I'm just going to top all of these. It's another force. It's another blue card for all these forces I have. Swords of Plowshares is great. Okay. We should win from here. Yep. And they're dead. Okay. Court of Grace, get back in the deck, please. Force of Negation against the... It's literally only Chalice that I care about Force of Negation with, which sucks really hard. Like, the Court of Grace... This card is so bad if I don't have mode in play, though, but it wins the game so quickly if I do. Maybe I get rid of Back to Basics, but no, that's actually really good because it stops their Cavern and all their soul lands. So maybe it's just Trial of Ambition? That really is the worst card left in the deck. Actually, I think the worst card left in the deck is Aminatou, but I'm not going to cut her. This is her league. Okay, I'm doing this. Yeah, if I'm all in on this Enlightened Tutor for Moat package, then I need my Force of Negations in to fight over Chalice of the Void. Like, this hand right here is perfectly serviceable if they don't have Chalice, and completely unplayable if they do, so I have to ship it. This hand is not much better. Might actually be worse. Alright, I'll mulligan again. Alright, this one has several answers to Chalice in it. Gonna get rid of Aminatou. Detention Sphere. Ugh. I hate that I had to do that. I hope they do have Chalice, so I didn't waste all that. Oh, that's even better. Oh, I'm glad we got the Path to Exile. Okay, so they went the other way with the Goblin Lackey this time, which will not be dealing combat damage to me. It sucks that I have to path it because that ramps them up to Muxus. But at least I'm not dead. I'm aware enough to appreciate that fact, at least. That was a great draw. Just something I can spend my mana on that lets me redraw. Looking for lands, just give me lands. Yeah, this is a handful of 4-drops against an opponent that can kill with 6 mana. So I'm dead to an Ancient Tomb next turn. Now they don't even need Ancient Tomb. I'm just dead. Alright, let's flip Terminus right now. I'd still rather have a land though. Okay, I mean, as far as cards that aren't lands or Terminus go, that's not the worst one. Here comes Muxus. Maybe I should have pathed Warchief in the upkeep to stop the Muxus from arriving. I'm letting them have this Matron hoping that they go for Muxus instead of Ringleader. Cranko, Jesus. Alright, let's take the haste off these goblins. This is bad though. I basically need to draw Force of Will and then Terminus in that order. Alright, Brainstorm. Bad news, team. Looks like I'm going to be a turn short because of Thorn of Amethyst. Like, if this Muxus hits a haste creature, I'm just dead. Alright, the Muxus actually whiffed. So I am going to lose this game because of Thorn of Amethyst. Like, this is so close to the moat. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, even if I Detention Sphere the Muxus, I'm still dead. And because of it, Thorn of Amethyst, I can't even Enlighten Tutor just to shuffle my deck and try to hit Terminus because I don't have 4 mana. Harsh. Yep, just dead. Thorn of Amethyst is too good. We can see how close that was, but the Stompy deck got through. Alright, Aminatou Miracles. This deck was a lot of fun. I think I want another win condition in it though, at least for Magic Online. In real life, I think it might be okay, but Magic Online, you do need to win the game somehow. Entreat the Angels, I think, is pretty medium in general. Like, I would actually prefer a second Court of Grace or a Court of Cunning or like something else, because this card is really hard to set up and really hard to pay off. And in an 80 card deck, playing one of them is kind of playing with fire. So since you already have the Enlightened Tutor package in the sideboard, maybe another court of some variety that can win the game might be better. Otherwise, this deck was really good. I think some more generic answers to stuff, though, like a Council's Judgment or an Unexpectedly Absent, something like that. Maybe more Reality Acids and Astrid's Invocations, as funny as that sounds. But being just like in this league, in Oko got to like 14 counters. Jace, we had to beat a Jace, Teferi, and Narset in play altogether because we couldn't actually pressure any of them other than countering them. So that is a problem. I want some answer. Like, I would probably turn a couple of these Spell Pierces into Council's Judgments. Actually, just gonna go ahead and do that. Turn 2 of those into Council's Judgments, and even just that small change is the difference between being able to answer a resolved permanent and not being able to do that. And Spell Pierce wasn't great anyway. I do like that card in general, but there's a lot of good creatures right now. Games go really long right now, especially this deck. Like, playing 4 Spell Pierce in a deck that is planning on going to turn 10 and beyond is a recipe for drawing dead cards. So those slots are probably also optional. The sideboard felt pretty good. Don't know what else I'd want to do over there. And I think I'm going to wrap up my thoughts on that. I've been talking about this deck for a long time now, and you watched the video. You saw what was good and what wasn't. Everybody, thanks for watching. Thank you for everyone who participated in the brewing contest. Thanks to Negator77 for sponsoring it. Thanks to Reaplecheap for brewing up this deck and sending it to me. And make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.